Give me a second. Peace. I'm about to get this show started. Let me see what's going on with YouTube. All right. We good. I know I'm about to mess up, but let me see. Can I get some people from Twitter X in here? I didn't freeze up yet, but let me start talking junk. Yep, there you go. There we go. With the my nose messed with me because dry heat in here. Nothing like dry heat in these apartments. All right. Let me put we are live. All right, we are live. Let me see. I might do it for let let me let Facebook know I'm live too. Do Facebook, and then I think I'm gonna do LinkedIn. Let the developers know I'm live. Oh man. I will freeze up on what's called on Facebook. It's like they tag teaming. One day it's Twitter, then one day it's on Facebook. All right. Now it's making me scared to do the LinkedIn, but I can't do that to my people because they share my stuff. They literally like and share my stuff. Yeah, so let's see how this go. Let me give my shout outs in a few minutes, the early shout outs. And please hit the like and subscribe. Hit the like, subscribe. Hit the like, subscribe, share it if you want to. Say something in the chat. Just make the algorithm go up. I just want to get my videos out there in the ecosystem, in the algorithm, as y'all say, in the algorithm. Come on, LinkedIn. Come on. Got me frozen. I just hope that y'all still can hear me. I don't care about the freezing up part. It's just that long as y'all can hear me, I'm good. Long as y'all can hear. Let me see. Come on, LinkedIn. Yeah, frozen again. Come on, LinkedIn. Just post the message. That's all I need. Just post the message. Long as y'all can hear me, I'm good. And I'm hoping that y'all okay with it. Long as y'all can hear me. I know the screen freezing up. I don't know why it's doing that right now. And I don't have the resources at the moment to put my computer in the shop or get a new computer. Hopefully, at some point, I'm blessed enough to get a new computer, a stronger computer. But more than likely, I get a new computer with a lot of hard drive space. I'm gonna still fill it up. That's how much I be thinking. No, I'm not playing either. I fall in love with ideas and stuff, and I don't be wanting to let them go. All right, come on, LinkedIn. You playing me like that. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I just hope that once I unfreeze and LinkedIn let me actually get control of my computer, then I'll be able to start reading my script. And thank everyone that's here listening and they didn't turn off because they see the screen frozen and they see the technical difficulties. I appreciate y'all and thank y'all. Yeah, I gotta do better. I gotta at some point do better because it makes y'all not interested in shows can be boring to some people, but they're entertaining to a lot of others. Come on, LinkedIn. Come on, stop playing with me. Give me a second. I think I was good until I started trying to post on different sites, trying to get more people in here. Come on. Do I have my? I gotta make sure my what's come open. My VPN to make sure that's what's nobody's attacking my computer. I'm always having these technical. Lamont Davis in the house. What's up, my brother? Salute. Appreciate you coming through. I'm still muted. Let me see. It's saying I'm not muted. Y'all can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, okay, thanks. Appreciate you. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I was hooked because a developer said they came in here and watched the show, and I was having technical difficulties, and then they left. So I'm like, Dad, man, be wanting these jokers to listen to some of the stuff that I be saying. You see, it almost I always had technical difficulties when I go to when I try to share it on LinkedIn, when I try to share it on what's that, Twitter, when I try to share it on Facebook, that's when I kind of had the difficulties. I gotta start just posting it early and say it's gonna be at 6 o'clock instead of saying we're live. I can't take that chance anymore. Man, let me see. AI. All right, I'm doing this episode. I'm going over the AI versus AI conversation because a lot of people don't understand when the tech. This why I be getting technical about things, and people be thinking, "Poe, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just saying stuff to try to make yourself look smart and stuff like this. Do the research." My thing is do your research. AI versus AI, when the CPU versus CPU. I knew this decades ago. I used to tell that to the EA developers. And they was like, wow, how did you even think of that? When you let the CPU versus CPU fight, it tells you how good you did the boxers, how authentic you made the boxers to themselves. Because you can make the adjustments by looking at them fight each other. You know what they're going to do. So you know the offline experience going to be good and the online experience going to be good. And I know y'all saying, hold up, how's AI plus AI going to benefit online? Glad you asked. Now I'm about to read my script. AI versus AI, the ultimate stress test for boxer authenticity. I butchered that word. I don't know why I be doing that. All right. This misunderstanding is in the community. When people hear AI versus AI, they think tech simulation. They think hands off. They think boring. That's not what this is. AI versus AI is a fully animated, physics-driven 3D boxing game. It's not about watching a spreadsheet fight. It's about stress testing. Stress testing. I knew that, and the developers, they're like, oh, duh. I never thought of that. It's stress testing, authenticity. And if developers are serious about realism, AI versus AI is one of the most powerful tools they have. Let's break it down. Authenticity test. Does the boxers fight like themselves? When a human controls a boxer, they override tendencies. They spam what works. They exploit animations. They ignore stamina logic. AI versus AI removes the human override. Now you see the boxer's real identity. Does the pressure boxer cut off the ring? Does an outboxer maintain distance? Does the counterpuncher wait and bait? Does the reckless puncher gas out? If the system is built correctly, each boxer should express tendencies, attributes, traits, risk tolerance, ring IQ, fatigue response, psychological adjustments. When two AI boxers fight, you're watching pure system integrity, no human interference. That's the truth serum. Mechanics stress test. The systems hold up. AI versus AI exposes flaws that players can mask. If footwork logic is broken, you'll see it. If hit detection is inconsistent, you'll see it. If stamina doesn't scale properly, you'll see it. If clinch frequency is unrealistic, you will see it. Even though we don't see clinching at all. Because AI operates at scale. You can simulate 100 fights, 1,000 rounds, different weight classes, different referee styles, different judges. Now patterns emerge. Is the jab overpowered? Are body shots underutilized? Are southpaw statistically dominant? AI versus AI gives developers clean data. And clean data leads to balanced mechanics. I'm huge on data. Statistical validation. Daggone. And I can say the word too. It's like soon as I see the word, it say mess it up. Statistical validation. All right. Real boxing has trends. High volume punchers throw more. Defensive specialists absorb less. Power punches have lower output but higher damage efficiency. AI versus AI allows you to compare end-game statistics to real-world boxing averages. You can ask, do CompuBox style numbers match reality, or knockdown frequencies realistic? Is stamina decay proportional to punch volume? Do late round stoppages occur naturally? If your simulation doesn't statistically resemble real boxing, it's not a simulation. It's an arcade system wearing boxing gloves. Personality and behavior authenticity. A boxer is more than numbers. He has habits. Does he drop his right hand? Does he circle towards power? Does he fight differently when ahead on cards? Does he become dangerous when hurt? AI versus AI reveals personality layers because behavior trees and decision matrices operate without human correction. If a boxer has a more dangerous when hurt trait, AI versus AI shows whether that trait actually activates. Now, this is something I gotta bring up. It's people that I like literally be listening. When I listen to people talk in the Discord or in general, some of them be saying stuff because how they feel. They feel like there should not be a boxer. He shouldn't be dangerous when he's hurt. It depends on how hurt he is. A boxer, anything when it's hurt and it fears for his life, will fight back when they feel cornered. There's plenty of boxing matches that I could point to that boxers, when they was hurt, they fought harder. They were more dangerous. Evander Holyfield is one of them people. When he's hurt, he's more dangerous because he's still throwing at you. It's a lot of boxers. But people want that, no, he shouldn't be dangerous. No, you don't want to fight tactical. You know you hurt him. Now you got to pay attention to how hurt you got him. Then you go for the kill. So to say. Because I don't want you two to give me no strike. Then you go for it. That's the killer instinct. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Levy said, keep it professional. Let me see. What? All right. Personality and behavioral authenticity. Did I read this? Yeah, I did. All right. Competitive scene benefits. Here's what people don't understand. AI versus AI benefits online players too. Here's what people don't understand. AI versus AI benefits online players too. How? Glad you asked. Because it validates balance. I hate that word. If AI pressure archetypes consistently dominate AI defensive archetypes by unrealistic margins, that imbalance will show up online. If AI pressure archetypes consistently dominate AI defensive archetypes by unrealistic margins, that imbalance will show up online. AI versus AI becomes a balance lab, a meta prediction tool, a patch testing sandbox, Do y'all know if they do the AI versus AI, it makes them put out patches faster? AI versus AI will make them put out patches faster. It will help this game move along faster. But a lot of these things, it goes way over their head. And you say, how can a guy like you know more than the developers and they working at a studio? That don't mean anything. Because I had a friend that went to school. He was a genius. But he was flipping burgers. All right, back to this. It protects competitive integrity. Oh, hold on. Let me give y'all context. AI versus AI becomes a balance lab, a meta prediction tool, a patch testing sandbox. It protects competitive integrity, and competitive integrity builds trust. Career mode and universe mode expansion. Imagine this. You run a promotion in career mode. Undercard fights play out organically. Rivalries develop naturally. Upsets happen statistically. Champions rise and fall without player input. The world doesn't freeze when your fight ends. It evolves. AI versus AI is the engine behind a living boxing ecosystem. Without it, everything revolves around the player. That's not a sports simulation. That's a stage play. That's a stage play. All right. Developer transparency and community trust. Developers could even stream AI versus AI tests during development. Developers could even stream AI versus AI tests during development. This is what Steel City needs to do to gain the community trust back. But my thing is, me personally, if they did this, I still wouldn't trust them because they basically did that with the video we saw with ESBC. We saw them playing the game and everything, and then we got a totally different game. All right. Developers should even stream AI versus AI tests during development to show balance changes, to show new stamina tuning, to show referee behavior updates. That's going to be huge if they do that. Damage, that to show damage model adjustments. Let the community see the system in action. That builds confidence because you're not telling fans it's realistic, you're demonstrating it. Still won't trust them. The myth. AI versus AI is for tech sims. No. AI versus AI in a 3D boxing engine is animation fidelity check, collision system audit, tactical behavior validator, statistical calibration tool, identity preservation test. It's not a replacement for player control. It's the foundation that ensures player control rests on something authentic. The real question, if a boxing game can't produce believable fights without human controlling them, was it ever realistic to begin with? That's the uncomfortable conversation. AI versus AI doesn't lie. It reveals whatever your boxing game is, a simulation of boxing or a fighting game wearing boxing skins. If developers want boxers to feel unique, if they want authenticity, if they want longevity, they need to treat AI versus AI as a core development pillar, not a slider feature. Not a side feature. Because when two AI boxers step in the ring, that's when the system speaks for itself. And the system never lies. Right. Offline modes matter, and online only won't force anyone to play. Offline modes matter, and online won't force anyone to play. And this whole section that I'm about to get into is about how people think it's best for all games to be online. And they think by all games being online, it's going to force the people that play offline to play online. No, they're not going to do it. They would go as far as to play older games. If the game that they want to be online and offline, but it only has online, they'll go play a game that has both, or they'll play the offline modes. A lot of people like offline games. And a lot of people like to force people to play online games. And it should never be like that. It always should be options. And y'all know how I feel about options. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Nothing. All right. There's the narrative floating around. If the game focused on online, offline players will have to adapt. That sounds logical on the surface, but it's false. Not emotionally false, not opinion-based false, structurally false. Let's break it down. Offline players are not online players in waiting. Offline players aren't avoiding online because it's unavailable. They're avoiding it because they prefer a different experience model. Offline players value controlled pacing, no latency or server variable, no toxic voice chat. And that's why a lot of games don't have voice chat, because they think they can entice the offline player. Say, hey, we don't give them voice chat. They don't got to worry about the toxicity. Still don't matter. All right. No meta exploitation. No win at all cost behavior. Deep immersion. Offline players value deep immersion. They want simulation integrity, not ladder anxiety. If a boxing game goes online only focus, offline players don't migrate. They disengage. That's a market exit, not a behavior shift. That's a market exit, not a behavior shift. Offline modes are the foundation of simulation integrity. If you're building a realistic boxing game, offline systems are where authenticity lives. Offline modes allow for career death, AI evolution, long-term injuries, training camp systems, rivalry arcs, promotional politics, referee variants, dynamic commentary layers. These systems require simulation stability. Online environments, compression, faster pacing, reduced cutscenes, simplified systems, minimize RNG, tight meta balancing. You cannot build a deep, evolving boxing ecosystem if every mechanic must serve online ladder fairness. Offline is where simulation breathes. Online players benefit from strong offline systems. This is the irony. The better the offline AI and simulation, the stronger the online meta becomes. If AI systems are strategically grounded, behaviorally authentic, archetype diverse, then online players inherit a balanced foundation. Hate that word. If offline systems are shallow, online becomes jab spam meta, exploit loops, animation abuse, stamina manipulation. Offline depth stabilizes online competition, not the other way around. Offline depth stabilize online competition, not the other way around. The forcing myth. The forcing myth. Let's dismantle this clearly. If a game removes meaningful offline content, here's what happens. Some players try online, dislike it, leave. That's not conversion. That's not conversion. That's churn. Player psychology matters. Offline players often value autonomy, narrative agency, personal pacing, system mastery without social pressure. Online introduces ranking systems, performance anxiety, public losses, toxic interactions. These are fundamentally different motivations. You cannot force a personality shift through a design restriction. You can only shrink your audience. You can only shrink your audience. You can only shrink your audience. Longevity and preservation. Offline modes future-proof a boxing game. Offline mode future-proof a boxing game. Servers shut down eventually. Servers shut down eventually. licenses expire, online communities fluctuate, but offline career modes, universe modes, and AI systems keep a game alive for years. Look at sports titles historically. The ones remembered fondly, they have strong offline ecosystems. The ones that die fast, online heavy, shallow foundation. Boxing especially needs offline longevity because boxing is about legacy, records, career arcs, eras, rivalries, and those are offline strengths. Not anti-offline, anti-imbalance, not anti-online, anti-imbalance. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat right quick. All right. This is not an argument against online modes. Online should exist. Ranked players should exist. Competitive scenes should thrive. But when development tilts too heavy towards online monetization or competitive balancing at the expense of simulation depth, the entire product becomes narrower. A boxing game is not just a competitive ladder. It's a sports ecosystem. Offline modes build the ecosystem. Online modes test skill within it. That's the proper hierarchy. Business reality. From a business standpoint, offline players represent casual buyers, simulation purists, career mode loyalists, long tail engagement. Offline players represent high visibility engagement, competitive streaming, short-term spikes. You want both. Eliminating or minimizing offline depth does not strengthen online. It weakens total market capture. The real question, if a boxing game cannot stand on its own as a rich offline simulation, what exactly is it offering? Because at that point, it's not building boxing, it's building a matchmaking service with gloves. It's building a matchmaking service with gloves. Offline modes are not outdated. Offline modes are not outdated. They are structural pillars. And that belief that an online only focus will force offline players to adapt misunderstands player psychology, simulation design, and long-term game health. The strongest boxing game will build deep offline systems, validate them through AI testing, then layer competitive online on top, not replace one with the other. If we want boxing done right, we need balance, even though I hate that word. Offline modes are structural, not optional. Offline modes are structural, not optional. Let's go deeper because this conversation is bigger than preference. It's about design architecture. When people say focus on online, offline players will adapt. What they're really saying is design the product around competitive friction. But boxing is not built on friction alone. It's built on story, psychology, pacing, and evolution. And those systems are primarily offline driven. Design architecture. Offline first versus online first. There are two philosophies. Online first design. tight frame data priority, meta optimization, risk minimization, reward compression, shorter match pacing, simplified stamina logic, minimal randomness. Everything must be predictable and balanced for fairness. That sounds good, but boxing is not fully predictable. Boxing is not fair. Boxing is not fair. People don't like to be strategic about anything. Boxing is not fair. All right. Offline first design, dynamic momentum shifts, injury carryover, style evolution, psychological adaptation, referee inconsistency, judges with biases, long-term stamina damage. These systems create realism, and realism requires variance. Online first design suppresses variance. Offline first design manages variance. That difference is critical. White online only focus shrinks tactical diversity. If a game prioritizes online balance above all else, developers patch for complaints, not authenticity. Example, body shots too effective, nerf. Defensive styles too dominant, adjust. Counter windows too rewarding, reduce. So every archetype starts feeling similar. That's the thing right there. This like, it annoys me when I hear this. People talk like they know boxing. They don't realize that every boxer has different things that they're efficient and they're skilled at. The body hunter, people that's body hunters, they should be effective. But here go people crying, the casual fan, the fighting game fan. And it's crazy because when you look at some of them fighting games, some of the moves are effective, too effective to some people. All right, let me see. So every archetype feels similar. Why? Because extreme identities create imbalance and short competitive cycles. But boxing is built on extreme identities. Boxing is built on extreme identities. Pressure versus moves. Pressure versus movement. Volume versus power. Y'all don't understand that. Volume versus power. Somebody that got power, you hit him with more punches, he gotta reset. You can stop him from throwing the punch. Bat, and move. You don't shock them because you hit him with 2 or 3 punches before he can get that one going. Counters versus aggression. Offline modes allow these extremes to exist. Online only pressure smooths them out. Give me a second. Like I tell y'all, I hate to say this, but I'm a mother caretaker and I hear her in the cabinets. And she shouldn't be in the cabinets. Let me go. I'll be back. Give me a second, y'all. You ain't up there eating crackers, are you? You wasn't up there eating crackers, were you? You wasn't up there eating crackers, were you? You wasn't up there eating crackers, were you? Why you keep doing that? You keep getting sick when you do that. You know you get sick, Mom, for doing that. What's more important, your life or food? You keep doing it. Excuse me, y'all, for that pause. Ah, my mother. Let me see. All right, let me see. Yeah, I'm a mother caretaker, but I gotta watch her because no, she's good. She was on insulin. She's off insulin now, but I have to monitor the way she eats. I'm a health nut. I know. Yeah, I don't look like I'm a health nut, but I'm 100% a health nut. I'm a health nut, and I'll be trying to keep her on the right path. And every once in the blue moon, I let her eat, a couple of crackers, because they don't spike her sugar because starch. Crackers are starch, and they're spike her sugar. So she'll go through all because I buy these bumblebee things. I know that has nothing to do with the show, but I'm giving y'all context why I left. So it's these little bumblebee packets that I get her so she could snack on, but I just let her eat the tuna fish. But I said, all right, every once in a blue moon, like once a week or every so often, I let her eat the cracker package with it. She goes in all of them, like it'll be like 5 of them, and she'll take the crackers out of all of them, and she'll eat them and just leave the cans of tuna. I said, Mom, you only supposed to eat 1 or 2. That's how many crackers that jump be getting me and saying her sugar be spiking. And I'll be like, Mom, you can't depend on me to come to your rescue when you make your sugar go up. All right, back to the show. I just wanted to let y'all know. I'll bring y'all into my life a little bit. Let y'all know what was going on. All right. Boxing is built on extreme identities: pressure versus movement, volume versus power, counter versus aggression. Offline modes allow these extremes to exist. Online only pressure smooths them out. The psychological gap between players types. Offline players enjoy mastery over systems, enjoy immersion, enjoy role play, enjoy building legacies. Online players enjoy testing skills versus human, enjoy rank progression, enjoy public validation, enjoy public validation, enjoy public validation. That's all I see in the Discord. Enjoy competitive tension. These are different dopamine drivers. Removing offline death does not rewire brain chemistry. It removes the player segment. That's controversial. I mean, that's not controversial. That's behavioral science. You're going to remove a fan base if you remove offline. Boxing is not a pure esports. Boxing is not a pure esports. A lot of people would like to say it. Let's be honest. Boxing is a narrative sport. The appeal isn't just who wins, it's the build-up. Yep. The camp, the trash talk, the rivalries, the comeback arcs, the fall of champions. Offline modes simulate this. Online ladders do not. You cannot replicate long-form narrative arcs in a ranked matchmaking queue. Server dependency risk. An online-heavy boxing game introduces structural fragility, server outages, latency complaints, exploits metas, boosting, smurfing, region-based lag disparities. Offline modes remove infrastructures, dependencies. They are resilient. If servers go down, the game still lives. If licenses expires, offline careers still function. Longevity equals trust. Trust equals brand stability. Trust equals brand stability. The monetization illusion. Some believe online first means higher revenue, short-term possibility. Long-term, not guaranteed. Offline death increases replayability, word-of-mouth trust, content creator storytelling, long-tail engagement. Career mode drama fuels YouTube series. Universe simulations fuel community debates. AI versus AI rivalries fuel discussions. Offline generates content ecosystems. Online generates clips. Online generates clips. You need both, but only one builds mythology. Competitive players should want strong offline. This might surprise some. If you are serious about competition, you should want deep offline AI. Why? Because AI testing builds balanced systems. Balanced systems produce fair stamina curves, realistic damage scaling, archetype diversity, strategic depth. Without offline simulation testing, online metas become exploit hunting, animation abuse, frame trapping. That's not competitive integrity. That's loophole optimization. If you don't like online, don't play. A false frame. The argument ignores development resource allocation. That argument ignores development resource allocation. If 70% of dev time goes into online matchmaking and monetization systems, that's 70% not going into training camp depth, AI personality layers, commentary evolution, injury modeling, career politics, referee behavior. Design is a zero-sum allocation of resources. Focus matters. Boxing games need a living world. Offline is where champions defend belts. Ranking shifts organically. Promoters make decisions. Undercards, fights matter. Rematches build tension. Imagine you lose a fight. You don't just queue again. You go back to camp. Your stamina baseline drops slightly. Your trainer questions strategy. Your media narrative shifts. Your rival rises. That's boxing. Online only focus reduces boxing to rematch. That's not the sport. The balance model. Oh my goodness, I hate this word. The balance model. The ideal structure. Build deep offline systems. Validate them through AI testing. Ensure statistical authenticity. Layer ranked competition on top. Offline builds the ecosystem. Online tests skill within it, not the other way around. Offline modes are not extra. They are structural integrity. And that's the idea that removes or minimizes them with force offline players into online ignores. Psychology, hold on. And the idea that removes the minimizing them with force offline players into psychology, design, architecture, market segmentation, longevity strategy, simulation theory. A boxing game should feel alive even when you disconnect from the internet. If it doesn't, it was never about boxing. It was about matchmaking. All right, here goes some Q&As. I'm about to hit y'all with some Q&As. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I hope it beat that cancer too. I don't want to say that too loud, but I hope it beat that. I hope it, you know. All right. If the game focuses mainly on online and won't offline players eventually adjust, this is the question. If the game focuses mainly online, won't offline players eventually adjust? My answer, no. Adjustments require motivation, alignment. Offline players prioritize immersion, pacing, autonomy, and long-term progression. Online prioritizes competitiveness, ranked, reaction speed, social validation. Those motivations are not interchangeable. If offline depth is removed, many players don't convert. They disengage. That's attrition, not adaptation. Question number 2. Isn't online the future of sports games? And I hear this all the time. People say, man, online gaming is the future of the game of gaming. You gotta let the offline go. You sound like a developer that's lazy. Don't y'all know y'all benefiting the developers? It makes them not do more. It makes them not. It's online. It's easier for them to make. It's less resources for them and stuff. Even though you got to build an offline mode to make it online. All right. Isn't online the future of sports gaming? My answer, online is a component of the future. It's not the foundation. Sports games that survive long term has deep career modes. Facts. Franchise or universe systems. Facts. AI development layers. Facts. Replayable offline structures. Facts. Online spikes engagement. Offline sustains it. Sustainability wins long term. Question 3. Why don't developers just balance everything around online and let offline be secondary? My answer, because online balancing compresses system variance. Because online balancing compresses system variance. Boxing thrives on variance. Power punches with low output. Defensive specialists who risk boredom. Fighters who gas out dramatically. Judges with controversial scoring. Online first, design minimize extremes for fairness. Offline first, design manages extremes for realism. If realism is secondary, the sport identity erodes. Now, this is another thing. This is why I need to be in a studio. Not all power punchers are slow. Not all power punchers are slow. I was a power puncher. I get you with the quickest punch ever, and you getting dropped. Because some people have heavy hands. It's what you call heavy hands. I got heavy hands. Shannon Briggs, heavy hands. That Joker got heavy hands. Before he became the muscle man, I know Shannon Briggs when he was thinned out. When we spun, he was thinned out. When he was in the amateurs, he was thinned out. But he had heavy hands. So with that slow, a power puncher should be slow and all that. If that's what you want for online, do not force the people offline to have unrealistic things. Wouldn't online only focus increase competitiveness? Wouldn't online only focus increase competitiveness? Only superficially. True competitiveness integrity requires accurate stamina modeling, realistic damage scaling, style authenticity, statistical balance. Those systems are developed and validated offline through AI simulation. Without that foundation, online becomes exploit driven. Without that foundation, online becomes exploit driven. And that's why online has a lot of exploits. And it's crazy. If I was a game tester, that's the first thing I would be doing. AI versus AI. Not me playing it. AI versus AI. Let me see what's going on here. You can see more through that than you really know. AI versus AI. Let me see what's going on. Without the foundation, online becomes exploit driven. Competitiveness is not just human versus human, it's system integrity under pressure. Why do offline modes matter so much in boxing specifically? That's question 5. Because boxing is narrative driven. Because boxing is narrative driven. It's about comebacks, decline arcs, rivalries, promotional politics, weight cuts, camp adjustments. Those systems require continuity. Online ladders reset continually every match. Offline modes preserve it. Offline modes preserve it. Question 6. If someone doesn't like online, can't they just ignore it? Only if development resources remain balanced. Only if development resources remain balanced. If 60 to 70% of design efforts go into matchmaking, anti-cheat, ranking system, microtransactions, and integration, then offline dev suffers. Ignoring offline doesn't restore what wasn't built. Doesn't online competition prove skill better than AI? My answer, yes, but only after the system is authentic. AI tests and proves whether the boxer behaves realistically. Offline testing proves whether a human, online testing proves whether a human can master the system. One validates mechanics, the other validates skill. They are sequential, not interchangeable. Question 8. Would offline players benefit from online improvements? Would offline players benefit from online improvements? My answer, some improvements cross over like animation polish, input responsiveness, hit detection refinement. But online optimization can also lead to reduced realism and stamina decay. Reduce realism and stamina decay. Shorten fight pacing. Reduce risk rewards extremes. Not all online adjustments benefit simulation depth, 100%. Question 9. Is enforcing on offline financially risky? Is enforcing on offline financially risky? Not if done correctly. Offline systems increase replay value, word of mouth longevity, content creation, storytelling, career mode, streaming series, online generates monetary hype, offline generates mythological. All right, y'all know what I mean. All right. Both are monetizable. Both are monetizable. Only one builds a legacy. Question 10. What's the ideal balance? Hate this word. Answer. Build a deep offline ecosystem. Use AI versus AI testing to validate authenticity. Calibrate stamina, damage archetypes statistically. Layer ranked online on top of a stable simulation. Offline builds the world, online tests mastery within it. Reverse that order and the foundation cracks. Question 11. What happens if a boxing game ignores offline depth entirely? My answer, you get meta stagnation, archetypes homogenization, exploit hunting, short life cycle engagement. And once the competitive scene declines, there's no structural system to keep players invested. The game fades quickly. Question 12. Is this anti-online? No, I said that before. This is pro-balance. A great boxing game should thrive both alone, offline, building legacy, online, testing skill. But if one must anchor the system, it should be the one that preserves the sport identity. That's offline. This one right here probably make some enemies for me. Unintentionally. Unintentionally, it might make some enemies. All right. When feedback hurts, why not all audience align with a simulation game? Let's make something clear first. This is not tribal. This is not anti-UFC. This is not anti-arcade. This is not casual. So y'all see where this is going. Y'all see where this is going. Different audiences want different experiences. The problem begins when feedback from audiences who prefer different design philosophies start shaping a game that is trying to be a realistic boxing simulation. That's when identity erosion happens. And identity erosion kills longevity. Let's unpack this carefully. Design philosophy mismatch. A realistic boxing simulation emphasizes footwork discipline, stamina degradation over rounds, grade economy, risk management, clinch nuance, referee involvement, tactical pacing. Many UFC and arcade fighting game fans are conditioned to expect. Now, this is the problem that I see. A lot of people don't notice it. I see this. Many UFC and arcade fighting game fans are conditioned to expect faster exchanges, higher strike volume, combo chains, immediate gratification, constant engagement, low downtime. Neither is wrong, but they are different pacing ecosystems. If a sim boxing game absorbs feedback like fights feel too slow, too much circling, not enough action, stamina drains too fast, and patches accordingly. You don't get realism, you get acceleration creeps. Over time, the game drifts toward hybrid arcade mechanics. That drift damages long-term simulation credibility. Combat rhythm expectations. Boxing rhythm is structured different from MMA or arcade fighters. In boxing, a jab sets tempo. Feints matter. Distance control is critical. Punch selection is strategic. Exchanges are often brief. In many UFC games and arcade titles, strikes chains are longer. Grappling resets momentum. Check that out. Grappling resets momentum. But I hear a lot of UFC fans cry about clinching. And clinching does the same thing. Combo buffering is emphasized. Action density is higher. When players use to high density combat provide feedback, they often interpret realism pacing as boring. If developers chase that feedback, they compress the sport, and compressed boxing loses authenticity. Stamina tolerance gap. Simulation boxing requires realistic fatigue curves, long-term round wear, output consequences, reduce late fight explosiveness. Arcade-oriented audiences often prefer consistent performance, minimum severe stamina punishment, combat mechanics, flashy exchanges late in fights. Doesn't that sound familiar? If stamina becomes forgiven to satisfy Broader audiences, precious styles become spammy. Defensive strategy becomes obsolete. Bodywork loses meaning. Fight pacing becomes unrealistic. Stamina is the spine of boxing realism. If the spine weakens, the structure collapses. Risk reward expectations. Risk reward expectations. Simulation boxing rewards patience, ring IQ, positional awareness, damage accumulation. Arcade influence expectations often favor. Arcade influenced expectations often favored. Immediate feedback. Visible damage quickly. Big combos for big impact. Big combos for big impact. Quick knockdowns. If knockdowns become easier for spectacle, champion pacing disappears. Technical boxers become non-viable. Realistic defense specialists lose effectiveness. And this is what I keep hearing in the Discord. I keep hearing the feedback from fighting games, arcade fighting games, and UFC games. They're trying to implement that into a boxing game. And some people are not saying anything. I got to say something. Authentic boxing sometimes involve long tactical battles that must remain viable. Identity dilution through broad feedback. Identity dilution through broad feedback. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The broader the feedback pool, the higher the risk of identity dilution. And that's the problem. Undisputed doesn't know what it wants to be. It has an identity crisis. Excuse me. All right. If a realistic boxing game tries to satisfy UFC gamers, arcade fighter fans, casual sports gamers, hardcore boxing purists without prioritization, it becomes confused. And confused products struggle with longevity. That's what's going on with Steel City. And confused products struggle with longevity. Longevity comes from clarity of identity, not universal appeasement. Casual feedback and short-term metrics. Casual players often evaluate games on first-hour excitement, immediate fun factor, accessibility, visual spectacle. Simulation depth requires itself over time. Simulation depth reveals itself over time. If development focus too heavy on early engagement metrics, depth gets sacrificed for flash. Complexity get reduced. Systems get simplified. Short-term retention may increase. Short-term retention may increase. Long-term mastery declines. And simulation audiences are long-term players. The meta distortion risk. If feedback pushes toward faster combos, reduced stamina punishment, higher strike output, less defensive dominance, online metas will evolve towards volume span. Online will evolve into volume spam, exploit loops, harmonization archetypes. Pressure fighters dominate, outfighters disappear. Counter punches become obsolete. That's not boxing diversity, that's mechanical convergence. Audience segmentation matters. Audience segmentation matters. A realistic boxing game should primarily listen to boxing purists, amateur and former boxers, tactical sports gamers, simulation focused players. Broader feedback is useful, but weighted feedback matters more than volume feedback. Design is about prioritization, not democracy. Long-term brand trust. If a studio markets a product as realistic, simulation, authentic boxing, but then adjusts mechanics based on audience who prefer high pace or arcade combat, hardcore players notice. And once trust erodes, regaining it is difficult. This is what I'm talking about. Once trust erodes, regaining it is difficult. That's why I'm telling you that Undisputed 2 is going to be hard to pull fans back in. It's going to be hard. I will be shocked if Undisputed does the same numbers it did or close to the numbers. Longevity depends on trust. Trust depends on consistency. The solution is not exclusion, it's clarity. The solution is not exclusion, it's clarity. This does not mean ignoring audiences. It means clearly defining the product identity, designing around that identity, communicating that identity, accepting that not every audience segment is the target market. The strongest sports titles historically embrace their niche identity. The strongest sports titles historically embrace their niche identity, even though boxing is not a niche. They don't they don't dilute it chasing everyone. They don't dilute it chasing everyone. When feedback comes from players whose core expectations are fundamentally different from simulation, boxing principles that feedback can unintentionally push their game away from realism. And realism is not just a feature, it's a structural philosophy. If a boxing game loses its structural philosophy, it loses its unique value. And without unique value, longevity fades. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. What's up, Random Thoughts? Appreciate you. Yeah, Clarissa, do she fight this weekend? Yeah, she got a fight coming up. When loud opinions override understanding. I'm gonna leave. Because they're gonna a lot of these people gonna start sounding familiar. They're gonna sound too much alike. Let me see. This is a funny one. I'm not fully gatekeeping, but I am. I'm not fully gatekeeping, but I am. Let me say something. Let me say this clearly. I'm not here to exclude people from enjoying boxing games, but I'm here to protect what boxing actually is. So no, I'm not fully gatekeeping, but yes, I am gatekeeping. Because when a game is marketed as a realistic boxing simulation, the standards changes. This is how it was originally marketed. And they expect everybody to stop expecting that. And I'm not going to shrink that standard to make casual opinions feel comfortable. I'm not going to shrink that standard to make casual opinions feel comfortable. This isn't about ego. It's about integrity. This isn't, I know more than you. This is boxing has structure, and that structure matters. If someone watches highlight reels and think they understand pacing, stamina layers, ring cutting, fin economy, and 12-round tactical warfare, that's fine. But that doesn't mean those deeper systems disappear to make it easier. A simulation demands discipline, not just value. Casual's comforts cannot override structural truth. When someone says it's too slow, make it more exciting. Nobody wants that deep stuff. It's just a game. What they're really saying is adjust the product so I don't have to adjust my expectation. That comfort-driven design, that's comfort-driven design. And comfort-driven design is often realism dies. I'm not silencing casual fans, but I'm not letting casual fans dilute simulation standards either. Gatekeeping versus protecting identity. There's a difference. Gatekeeping is excluding people from participating. That's weak. Gatekeeping to protect authenticity, that's necessary. If a boxing game removes stamina punishment, speed up unrealistic exchanges, reward spam over strategy, make knockdown spectacle based, it stops being boxing. It becomes an arcade fighter with gloves. And if the game is labeled simulation, I will defend its label. Experience matters. Experience matters. If you box, if you trained, if you studied tendencies, if you understand how subtle foot placement affect angles, your opinion carries weight. Not because you're superior, but because you understand the layers. Casual confidence doesn't increase technical depth. But I'm not shrinking my voice to avoid making someone uncomfortable. Silence isn't balance. That word again. Silence isn't balance. This is social pressure that says, if you know more, tone it down. Why? Why should informed perspectives whisper so uninformed takes feel unequal? Why should informed perspectives whisper so uninformed takes feel equal? If a realistic boxing game is being shaped, the loudest voices shouldn't automatically win. If a realistic boxing game is being shaped, the loudest voices shouldn't be automatically win. Shouldn't automatically win. All right. The most informed voices should matter. That's not elitism. That's not elitism. That's responsibility design discourse. Longevity requires standards. Short-term hype can come from flashy knockdowns, fast combos, arcade pacing. Long-term respect comes from authentic stamina curves, tactical viability, style diversity, realistic pacing, identity preservation. If protecting those systems make me a gatekeeper, fine. Because without standards, the genre drifts, and drift destroys longevity. I'm not shutting the door because fans can play. I mean, casual fans can play. Casual fans can learn. Casual fans can grow into deeper appreciation. But the structure of assimilation should not bend to ignorance. Education should rise to the system. The system should collapse to lowest expectation. The system shouldn't collapse to the lowest expectation. So let's be clear. I'm not here to silence casual fans, but I'm not going to silence myself so they feel comfortable in surface level takes. Boxing has depth. Simulation has standards. And if defending that makes me partially gatekeeping, then I accept it. Because protecting authenticity isn't arrogance. It's responsibility. All right. Yo, I want you to see the shirt again. I'm going to show the shirt again. Let me see. See the shirt? I'm gonna send out a couple to a couple of people. I'm gonna send out one to Don D 205. 205. He's on Twitch. Don D 205. He comes on every day except for Sunday. And it's at 12:22, I say 12:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he's on, you can find him on Twitter, X, and you can find him on Instagram. On Instagram is Don D TV. Don D 205 TV. You can find him on there. Give him support. Like his stuff, share it if you can. Oh yeah, this is what I want to talk about before we leave the show. Let me see how many shadow watches I got. Let me see. 28 people. All right. Check this out. Y'all, I need y'all to support that not the survey itself. I want y'all to fill out the survey too. But I want y'all to fill out that petition. I'm trying to make that petition. That petition, it'll catch attention. I need y'all to help me get this done. Get people to fill out that petition. They ask for a petition, Still City can't refuse it. We get a petition from a third party. But y'all keep saying it's not going to work. We don't know. You can't say something won't work if you don't try. What failed in the past don't mean it'll fail in the future. Because if you're saying it's failing in the future, that means you counting yourself out because you're part of that future, especially if you're a younger generation. So y'all should use your voices, sign that petition, please. I got it tagged. I got it on the in the what's called. I got it pinned on this thing. Please sign it. And I got Ash, I got Still City, I got everybody tagged. I got them as the like when they get a certain amount of numbers, if I get 100 numbers, they're gonna push it to Ash and them. Hey, people want that survey, so they're gonna have to put it out, and it's got to be a third party. I need your help. All right, so let me quickly give shout outs real quick before I let go. I'm let end the show. Shout out to Pound for Pound Boxing Game, Leafy. Shout out to Lamont Davis, 89. Appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to who came up in here. Oh, Random Thoughts, 4569. Appreciate you. And oh yeah, I had to write it down so I won't forget. Shout out to Blaster X, cause Blaster X he be looking me out. He be make the you know how you go to certain parts in the videos and stuff like that. He actually puts that in the thing so people could go like if they want to skip to certain things. Appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to Blaster X. Shout out to who else want to shout out? Shout out to the Whistler's Mafia. Shout out to Papanosis. Shout out to PR Guy, the OG. he's not my OG, but you know, we're OGs, so to say. PR Guy, shout out to Indigo 72, Anthony. You know, shout out to Country Boy. He didn't pop in here. You know, shout out to all of y'all. Appreciate y'all. And you know, to the next show. Tomorrow I'm gonna do a show. You know, appreciate y'all for coming through. And till the next show, peace. This doggone